I've spent years picking apart movies for being imperfect, and I realized I was doing the same thing to my own life. I used to fall into this all or nothing trap, like if I couldn't commit to a 2-hour daily workout or a perfect routine, I just wouldn't start at all. That pressure to be perfect right out of the gate kept me stuck and frankly pretty overwhelmed. I've learned that taking one small, imperfect step, even if it's just a 5-minute walk or finally admitting I need to talk to someone, creates way more momentum than waiting for a perfect version of myself to show up. Therapy has been a huge part of that for me. It offers a fresh perspective that helps me recognize progress without needing it to be a masterpiece movie-esque life. BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video, makes starting therapy as easy as streaming a movie on your couch. You can take a quick quiz and get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can communicate however you're comfortable: phone, video, or even text. If the match isn't the right fit, you can switch anytime at no extra cost, like flipping to a new channel. They've helped over 6 million people to date. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/cinemasins and get 10% off your first month of therapy. "38 seconds of opening logos, followed by 10 seconds of black screen." Swan Lake, famously the only ballet to have ever existed, and thus the only ballet this film with the title of Ballerina will ever reference in any way during its 2+ hour runtime. Presumably this is some sort of police station or child protective services, yet not a single adult in the building thought to at least help the blood-covered little girl wash her face. Did they even give her a snack?
You look so much like your sister.
I wish I could remember her.
I wish you could remember this memory that allegedly came from your own mind when, an hour or so into this movie, you seem surprised to learn that you have a sister.
I come back and you're a foot taller. Gonna ground you.
But what if Eve wants to be a baller or a shot caller? I mean, what if she wants to hit the highway and make money the flyway? Will the grounding punishment still be on the table? These are the questions we want answered, but the movie says F you. Also, I'm not exactly sure how long Eve's dad is planning on being gone, but if it's less than a few months, the intense growing pains from shooting up 12 inches in that short period of time will be enough of a punishment. The grounding just seems f***ing mean at that point. The first arrow is a shot to the eye and appears to kill the man instantly, so the rest of this arrowing is just wasteful. This tattoo translates to, "I shouldn't have had that last shot of Everclear on Tuesday." No reason to fact check. Javier is first seen running for an ambush from his right, and then after a cut, confronting that ambush from his left. Yes, the first shot was reflected in a mirror, but mirrors don't reverse which side of the hall you're standing on. Oh good, she has her emotional support bulky glass and metal toy. No cuddly stuffed animals for Eve, just ballerina indoctrination. Why does the new villain, Gabriel Byrne, look so much like franchise staple Ian McShane, causing inevitable confusion when we're expected to recognize them as two separate characters with different motivations a couple of scenes later? I'm complaining for a friend named me.
One bullet well placed can be a magical thing.
JFK conspiracy theorists.
Choice is yours.
Chancellor tells Javier the choice is yours, but does not give him the option to get with this or get with that.
You've got your choice. Now do you have the balls to do it?
Hey, Steve, do you think we're overdoing the cliche bad guy one-liners with the Chancellor character? No, Dave, I would like to add 20 more. But Dave, do you have the balls to do it?
Papa!
I can't decide which is the more irresponsible piece of parenting. Almost offing yourself while you know your child is watching, or responding to said child reminding you she's watching by immediately pointing a gun in her direction. So I'll send both. Kids. Only giving yourself 30 seconds to get you and your daughter out of the house and far enough away to be safe from the explosion. Having several hidden passages in your house, but having glass windows in said hidden passages so you can't remain hidden.
Papa!
Okay, Mr. Chancellor, you got what you wanted. Javier is dead, and Eve is yours to take. No? You're just gonna leave her there? Remind me again, what was this all for?
Your father was a good man. He wanted a free and open life for you, not like the one that he had to endure.
But that, because I'm here to trap you in exactly the same hellish childhood that he never wanted you to experience, sweetie. Operating a working theater that puts on ballet productions for the public in the same building as your assassin training grounds. Sudden Morticia Adams.
Those men took your past. Don't let them steal your future.
That's the Ruska Roma's job.
And know that I will always be at your service.
Chekhov's gold coin.
He was what we call kikimara.
What is that?
It's Slavic folklore appropriation, sprinkled in meaninglessly for a dash of empty flavor.
Ultimately, it is up to you to choose.
I choose Super Mario Brothers. Oh, sorry, I thought we were choosing which IP that focuses way too much of its time on coins we'd rather be part of. The movie refuses to tell us which date this is 12 years later from, so I'm just gonna assume this is the year of our Lord 2052, and sin the fact there still aren't flying cars or hoverboards. This tattoo translates to my favorite Argento film is Tenebra. No reason to fact check. Audiences have been confused whether Eve and the ballerina from John Wick 3 were the same person, so the writers decided to repeat a scene from that movie with a completely different actress with different tattoos to confuse us even more. Because who needs toes, right? Definitely not ballerinas or assassins. Also, enjoy your ballet moment because this is all the dancing we're going to get out of Eve in this misleadingly titled movie.
Tend to your wounds before you get sepsis and we have to cut off your feet.
Quentin Tarantino's from the world of John Wick Ballerina.
You are a real ballerina. You're the best dancer here. That other you learn with training.
What have you been doing the last 12 years if not training? Also, trying to wrap my head around how Eve moved in with a Russian family in New York, but somehow picked up a Cuban-Spanish accent over the past 12 years.
What are the rules?
That no one talks about Fight Club?
Protect your ward at all costs.
I guess that's important as well.
Fight like a girl.
Scene does not contain pillows or hair pulling. To be fair, all of my fighting like a girl knowledge comes from watching Grease 172 times at a young and impressionable age.
Tatiana did not have the qualities required to continue with the Ruska Roma.
Nothing signals to the public that you care suspiciously little about ballet than suddenly firing your best dancer. And nothing signals to your film's audience that you care suspiciously little about ballet than failing to link it in any way with your star assassin's combat skills or repertoire.
I'm you in 10 years.
At least we know what the plot of Ballerina 4 would have been. Nothing like winding down with a spinning ballerina music box after a hard, long day of shooting a complete stranger in the head to get a promotion.
Is it Sabachki?
Это была не просто собачка.
It was.
You still have a choice.
Repeating the word choice every 5 minutes does not count as exploring a theme. Some version of the word choose shows up in the script at least 18 times, including the credits song. I don't know whether the screenwriter chose to write so on the nose or just lost a bet.
Why didn't you leave?
I'm working on it.
But since we've almost likely already seen John Wick Chapter 4, then we already know what comes for him after this statement, and the sin, as always, is prequels.
You'll find Miss Park at -11.
Because security's best practice is always to let your client go out drunk and unprotected, and send someone to catch up with her when you get around to it. Thank God for that leg slit, or that would be a completely impractical dress to fight in.
She can dance.
Can she? It was kind of the assassins to show up just after Eve and give her time to make it down from the balcony before politely escorting their victim out of this very public space with a limited number of security-guarded exits. The cold seems to have numbed this crowd to all awareness of the violent brawl that's broken out in the middle of their party. We could honestly say this works for just about every minute of screen time, so this seems like a good time to add 25 to all previous and future variations. I need to see the liability insurance for this New York City establishment that just leaves ice picks lying around for drunk people to pick up and swing at each other. Footage from my 18th birthday party somehow makes its way into the script. Unnecessary time jump after the movie has been as vague as possible about the passing of time is unnecessary. The Ruska Roma are apparently not hired for their subtlety. So there were assassins waiting for her outside, assassins she battled through in the penthouse, but nobody clued in the club security in between? The idea that this other car timed Eve coming out and driving to that intersection at that exact moment is f***ing insane. And all the bullshit.
I've seen this before. That's the same scar as the men who murdered my father.
And of course, the job Eve is sent on will tie back to her father's murder because that's how life works.
They have no rules, no consequence, no mercy. They do not interfere with our business and we do not interfere with theirs.
That sounds suspiciously like a rule, which you just said they don't have. And the knife hole next to Eve's collarbone suggests that they're not following it. It is very good to see Lance Reddick one more time. R.I.P. good sir.
Needing to know is what got us banished from the Garden of Eden. Are you prepared to be cast out again, Eve?
Biblical sexism.
They have access to the Continentals?
Oh, yes. Better to have them inside the tent, pissing out, than outside, pissing in.
Ah, yes, inviting the enemy inside your walls, a tactic that worked out famously well for Troy when they let that large wooden horse in, and of course, for every city that's ever been under siege.
There is a man who bears that mark staying at one of our hotels at the present, in Prague, I believe.
Does Winston personally track every guest at every hotel at all times? Because he had that information suspiciously ready at hand, and Eve should really be questioning that. As much as I appreciate committing to an aesthetic, you would expect a high-end global network of assassins to have access to technology made this century. Walking. Excitement? Considering Muriel told Winston earlier that Pine was ordering a ton of room service, mostly ice cream, it must have been a huge pain in the ass to have to disarm that contraption every time someone came to the door.
I'm not here to hurt my daddy, are you?
Your father?
As opposed to... Did Eve think children just came with odd-numbered rooms at the Prague Continental?
You have no idea what you just walked into, do you?
As long as it's not another goddamn Walking Dead spinoff, I'm good. How many people are in this extremely incriminating group chat? The state of the assassin agency's IT does not instill confidence in the Continental's digital security diligence.
Ella, honey, let's go.
Unless Pine supplied Ella with some earbuds, I'm not sure I believe she could hear him after all that close proximity to loud gunfire.
You kick more.
That's a very convenient leap in logic for someone who hasn't even seen her tattoos. Why blend into the crowd to slip away when you can instead draw the attention of every assassin in a 1-mile radius? Eve continues to be terrible at sensing anyone attacking from behind. Discount Tywin Lannister.
I didn't kill anyone.
That is true, and I'll assume security believes it because they have camera footage. But then they would know that the other two didn't successfully kill anyone either. I'm really curious about the head nod system here. Does the one nod signify just to kill 2 people? And how do they know which of the 2 to kill? I mean, I feel like that message could have been incorrectly received very easily.
Will this be a large or small game hunt?
Frank has taken Eve to the secret weapons room behind the wall. He clearly knows what Eve is there for, and it's only the 2 of them. So why still all the beating around the bush? Just get straight to the bush, Frank. Movie wants us to believe shearling jackets are grenade-proof, and I assure you they are not.
Their precise location has never been confirmed. Since anyone who's ever gone looking has also gone missing. That's bad math.
Also just known simply as math.
Somewhere in these peaks, deep in the mountains past Abbassie and Feldkirch.
Would it surprise you to learn that at least some of these Austrian towns are either made up, misspelled, or not where this film says they are? No, I didn't think so.
Sorry about your shop. I need a car.
Nothing makes an apology sound more sincere than immediately asking for a massive favor. The Ballerina-ing. Apparently known to gather deep in the mountains from which those who seek them never return means built an entire charming town that will attract tourists with more alacrity than my milkshake bringing all the boys to the yard. Being the kind of asshole that would make this a parking space. Are these souvenirs all for locals? Because everyone treats Eve as if they've never seen an out-of-towner in their lives, and any outsider's appearance immediately initiates a shoot-to-kill order, which is not good for tourism. Also, why is this random mountain town of Austrian cultists selling ballerina souvenirs instead of, say, the Ruska Roma HQ in New York City? I love seeing Daniel Bernhardt in anything, but it is confusing when you know he played a character that died in the first John Wick movie. This is actually his 3rd appearance in the John Wick franchise. This would be the equivalent of bringing Robert Downey Jr. back into the MCU, but only to have him play Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man. So glad that'll never happen.
It's a letter. Send somebody to the restaurant.
An Austrian town that speaks Austrian accented English to each other instead of their native German. Part of Ruska Roman training is learning how to not be cut to ribbons when shoved through plate glass.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I find Eve as being kind of naive here, not assuming that everyone, even probably the kids, based on her upbringing in a similar circumstance, can fight. And I don't think the movie wants me to think Eve is dumb, although that would make a lot more of this movie make sense if they did. Tossing plates on each other instead of stabbing each other with the jagged edges of all those broken plates. Also, this hunting for the non-broken plates in the plate stack hunts on for all the some time. The amount of lives saved in this movie because everyone is so well trained in knowing exactly when to open a door is astounding. Well, that's gotta slow her down. Or not.
Barely an inconvenience.
He does realize that the telescopes move, right? He doesn't need a separate spyglass setup to cover every possible angle, thereby likely losing track of his target in the time it takes to switch back and forth between them. The city ordinance really needs to get down here because I'm pretty sure having your playground and gun range in the same area is breaking some sort of code or violation. Eve, who has been shot at by every resident of this town, whose path she's crossed, is surprised when these particular residents of the murder town start shooting at her. For a town of killers who hunt humans for sport, they sure do like to throw themselves in front of bullets. I've only gotten a few scenes with the character of Lena, and have barely been able to form much of an opinion of her, other than that she is probably not a woman full of grace.
We got her.
Is she dead?
Even though we've been trying to brutally murder her for the last 20 minutes, we've decided once we finally captured her that maybe you would like to have a conversation with her instead. You would expect a town full of assassins to have a dedicated interrogation location where they didn't have to perch awkwardly on children's school desks.
Would you not like to someday have a family of your own?
Assuming every woman wants a husband and kids.
She's here because I killed her father when she was a child. She's your sister. What are you doing? Lena!
Reminding someone you killed her father, revealing your hostage is her sister, and then being surprised when she turns on you.
You're forcing children into this life.
As Ruska Roma has with you.
Lena would be excellent at pot calling the kettle black since.
At least here we're honest about who we are.
No Kikimura lies.
Like the time they lied to you your entire life about your sister being dead?
I was only 9 when they told us you were dead.
Consequently, I'm currently 50, but I feel like I was 9 when this movie started. Time to be sad about the death of a character you spent less than 10 minutes with because the script threw in a blood relationship with you cliché. Apparently doing pirouettes and Russian wrestling translates directly into Kill Bill level katana skills. Good to know.
You will accept full consequences of her actions.
Says the man who is actually responsible for her revenge spree.
If come midnight she still breathes, retaliation will be inevitable and total.
Then why isn't the Chancellor just killing her himself? They had her dead to rights minutes ago.
The Baba Yaga.
Everyone in this world seems to know John Wick on sight, despite him looking nothing like the crone-like entity known as the Baba Yaga. Are there assassin trading cards in this universe?
She sent you here to kill me?
This movie is 37% Eve being surprised by she should not be surprised by. Since we know this takes place between chapters 3 and 4 of the official John Wick films, then we know there is zero chance he dies here, and they're not going to kill Eve either. So this is a bunch of punchy with no stakes. Fun. Eve's stealth skills may be rock bottom, but this town's surveillance skills are rock bottomer. And this is the portion of a movie set in the John Wick universe where it just becomes nothing more than a shitty shooter-based video game. Eve has one hell of a supernaturally unrealistic throwing arm.
Cool.
Not pictured in this scene. Anything cool.
She wants me, and she wants Ella.
Actually, she strangely hasn't mentioned Ella even once. Not even to John, who would probably intervene on the little girl's behalf. Choosing to keep fighting when your foot is engulfed in flames instead of at least attempting to put the fire out first. At least Eve isn't the only one who is terrible at watching her back.
But sir, we've also lost track of John Wick.
Being this nervous about the outcome when there are 2 of them and so many of you. Bringing water to a firefight. Wait. Also, all of a sudden, this movie feels way more Resident Evil than John Wick. And maybe that's what happens when you get the f***ing director of Underworld to make your movie.
This is suicide. It's f***ing John Wick.
Being more afraid of the newcomer to the fight than the woman who has been systematically slaughtering your town for hours.
Do you really think you're going to save her from me?
I mean, if she kills you, then that's exactly what she will be doing.
So she is dead?
He is dead.
Fine.
If that was an option, why didn't you start there before attempting to kill one of your own?
You may have cut the snake's head, but the body still lives.
Guess we'll have to wait till the sequel. Sequel. Finally, some ballet in this ballerina movie. I guess Tatiana was the real ballerina all along. But also, skip.
And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera.